Hello.
Hey, how's it
How
going?
are you?
Oh, just trying to live, not
I mean, for sure. For sure. For some reason, my body this morning is like just in this like hyperdrive. So I've just been
oh
like,
weird.
hey,
You're like,
like, you're
hey,
good.
yeah.
Chill.
Like you're alive. It's fine. Everything's good. Yeah.
Yeah, no stress whatsoever. You haven't got a safety blanket or a safety net in it, a blanket or a net, apparently.
Yeah. Like you have no blanket, no net, and no oh yeah. It's funny actually because I had this whole like you also have no home and I'm like, thanks.
You don't have a safety net, a safety blanket, or a safety home. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you're being defined.
Yeah,
Aren't
I'm
we
like
all?
I know I'm like shit. I'm like, you're okay, you're fine. My body's like, oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, yes, like
Okay.
which is so interesting.
Mm.
So the
Yeah,
theme for today, Lexi is
yes.
not aware of the theme, which
But
is kind of fun, like not putting pressure
yeah,
on the
yeah.
future, but I kind of love that you don't know
Yeah, I
because
have
then
no
it's
idea.
like,
Yeah,
what's
I
gonna
like this.
happen? But I also feel like it's super relevant because in
Mhm.
my physical mind, I was
Yeah.
like so keen. I'm like, let's get into multidimensionality. Like, I don't even care. I just want to be in, I want to talk about that. But then
Yeah.
obviously my soul was like, you know what needs to be spoken about today. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn it. But yes, I know. So the theme today is
Yeah.
integration.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
that old chestnut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to begin, do you want to set intentions?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to, yeah, I'll get you to go with it.
As always, I feel like
I'm
it's
along
the
for this
same.
ride.
Yeah, for sure. I feel
We'll get the best out of it.
I feel like it is always kind of the same for me, just because of the way that I'm guided, which is just presence and
Yeah.
authenticity,
Yeah.
um, clarity, and not performative, which has been a
Yeah.
huge learning for me this year, but also
Yeah.
liberating.
Yeah.
To just see what happens. Like we said, no, I don't have a safety net, and I think that's why my body's like, "Ee," but we are just showing up authentically.
Exactly. We're
So
just
that's mine.
yeah, I really feel like my intention is just to just always be me. And
Hmm.
I really feel like through me that whatever comes through or like whatever I can share from my experiences like helps other people. And I think that's kind of the main thing for me. I just want to be able to help other people in this fucking crazy crazy roller
Highest good
coaster
for
ride.
all.
Like, look, we're all holding on for dear life.
Sure,
But
for sure.
we can get better at treading water and maybe we can get floaties. So it's fine.
Yeah, I mean we do. That you just can't see them. Sometimes you can't feel them either.
Yeah.
So isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
On that note, so like to begin with, integration. Like the
Yes.
last 5 days,
Hmm.
I have been deep in
Yeah.
integration. And when it's like your physical body is tired, not just
Mhm.
physically, but like on a level where it feels like the air is sludge and you're like just trying
Yeah.
to move through. And then your mind's like, hey, here's all your here's all the old wounding and old
Yeah.
patterns just coming up to the surface. And you're just kind of like, so yesterday I came out. I'm still
Mhm.
kind of integrating. It's still a bit tender, but
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to ask you, I feel like everyone has this experience, and maybe people don't know what's going on. Like, I think I definitely used to feel like I was regressing. Like, I was like, oh, why am I regressing? And then I would
Yeah.
judge myself about it.
Yeah.
And now I have the awareness to be like, oh, this isn't me. Like, this is an echo. This is coming up for a reason. And so I thought it would be really cool if we could talk about integration in general and just
Mm.
get a better understanding of it from you and see also what your experience of integration is like. So, what is integration to you, period? And then
Yeah.
what is your experience of integration from your vantage point, and maybe even comparatively to what it used to be?
Mm. I feel like integration is very much you integrating your new perspective or new level of awareness into your
Mm-hmm.
current existence. Like that that's what it feels like, right? So it's like you're taking your new awareness or like what's going on, and then you've got your bodies just being like, what the fuck? What are we doing? And you're kind of
Mm.
just joining those two together. And sometimes it can go really seamless, and you're like, wow, that was awesome. You're like, oh my God, yes. And then other times it feels like you're just trying to like smash incorrect jigsaw puzzles together. And you're like, it's
Yeah.
probably the best analogy I can use, and you're sitting there, you're like, why is this not working? And it's like, oh, because you need to upgrade your pieces, or like, it's like, no, the
Mm.
pieces don't go anymore. They're not meant to go anymore. Um, and so to me, integration is like when you can seamlessly bring those like your human self and your spiritual self, like where you bring them together and you're like, oh, I can still be human. I can still have these experiences, but I can do it from this beautiful, like new perspective or new level of awareness. That to me is like full integration because it's like it's in a practical way. It's like,
Like
okay,
embodiment
yeah,
of
exactly.
the higher frequencies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a full, yeah, it is integrate, like the word is integration, but that's what it is. It's like, okay, I've taken this new knowledge or this new knowing, I'm using this knowing to shift what is old, and for me to then
Mm.
go, okay, I can then combine, or like I can release this and now shift into this new version of myself that is more
Mm.
liberating. Not always a pleasant experience, but more liberating.
Mm.
And I feel like it's more connective, it's more expressive, it's more like you're more yourself than what you were before.
Mm.
But the problem is
Mm.
that you have to dismantle like this whole
Yeah.
like all these ego constructs or social constructs or what beliefs, values, all these different patterns of behaviors and systems that are happening and operating beneath the surface. Usually it's like, and once they come to the surface, it's like, oh hey, I've got this new knowing, and then you're looking at it and it's like, oh God. And the best way I can explain it is like eagle vision, right? Where
Hmm.
you kind of people want this beautiful vision where they're like, oh, I can see everything. And it's like, yes, you can. But what happens is it triggers your head, and your head's like, no, 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 you don't need to look here. Like, stop
Mm.
looking at this. Or your head will go, oh my God, I failed at this. Holy shit. Because you're seeing the big picture and you're seeing all of the parts of you, or like, I shouldn't say parts of you because technically it's not really you, but it's like all these parts of that false you that are there that need to be deconstructed. But instead, like what you're doing is you're like you're trying to you almost like anchor into those things where you're like, oh my God, but that's what I've always done. Like, oh, but this is me, and like, oh no, but I'm failing. And you start judging yourself around all of that. And you're like, no,
Mm.
wait, I need to go back into this eagle vision where I'm soaring above it all. And yes, I can zero in on things, but it's like I'm only
Mm.
like I'm only going to zero in on something if I want to release it. Like if I'm like, oh,
Mm.
I've got something to look at here. There's something that needs to be looked at, that needs to be observed without judgment. It's just that because we've got so many we're predisposed to judge ourselves, because of that,
Conditioned. Yeah.
it makes it a bit difficult. So then, but to me, integration is like you've released that, and you're fully in that space then, where it's like, oh, I can, I've been able to release these old things that don't serve me anymore, and I'm able to like now continue my life through embodiment or through this space where there's a deeper level of acceptance of yourself in, even just how you express yourself, how you interact with other people, like it's in a very practical way though, because it's like how you're operating in the real world, you know?
Mm.
It's like from this new level of perspective. To me, that's
Like an
integration.
opportunity to actually practice what you're not what you're preaching,
Yeah,
but practice what you've kind of
yeah,
downloaded.
yeah,
Often I find I'll have like a lot of high energy kind of come in, like expansive energy comes in. And
yeah.
then after that is when I start to move through and I'm like, yeah, absolutely flying high. And then I'll wake up one morning and I'll be like, oh no, like it's coming every time. But and
Yeah.
then it's just moving with it, obviously, and being with it, etc., etc. But do you find that you'll get like expansive energy coming in and then it creates space and then that stuff maybe feels safe enough to kind of rise for release or
Um, for me, it is a little bit different.
mm.
I tend to have more shocking things happen. Like I'll have something that will be like that will shock me in a way, and then it's like I alchemize it straight. Like I'm just like, oh, like it happens and I shift into observation and then I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the pieces and I'm like, oh, fuck, that's gotta go. Like
Mm,
it's like this weird acceptance where I'm like, oh, and I do have
mm,
like a bit of that dread because I'm like, okay, that's gotta go. But it's weird. It's like I don't so much have I have the expansiveness part happening at like happening in real time, if that makes sense. Like it's like
mm,
happening all at the same time for me. It's not,
mm. There's your
I
level of awareness. Yeah.
yeah, I don't tend to get like um, yeah, I don't tend to get like, oh wow, this has shifted here and blah blah blah, and then have the like ego stuff come up. It's like kind of happens almost weirdly simultaneously, like it happens at the same time, and I'm
Mm,
like, and so then for me, I feel like I'm split. Is that mean like
mm.
I'm literally
Yeah. No,
looking at it.
I don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm looking at it at the same time, and I'm going, oh fuck, okay, well, that's not serving me. That needs to go. And a lot of the time, it's you. Like, there's parts of you need to like fucking carve out. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm carving this out and having these downloads at the same time. And I'm like, so yeah, for me personally, I'm sure heaps of other people out there would be the same, where it's like it kind of can. There's definitely a lot of times where it's happening, both aspects are happening at the same time. So it's like
Mm.
I'm like getting downloads and I'm having this like death at the same time. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So the quicker that
Do
I
you
can
think?
alchemize that, the easier it's integrated and the quicker it is for me to move forward. Um, like I don't have an option, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have like an example of
Oh
that
God,
exactly what you were just describing? Yeah.
will I ever?
Let's do it.
I know. So I've like nearly died so many times. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, like I'm going to bring human design in here a little bit for those people who do know human design, but I have like gate 51 and gate 25, like that channel. So what that means is that it's connected into shock and it's connected into spiritual awakening. So any kind of big shift that I usually have is connected to shock in some way,
Ah,
right? I've
yeah,
also
yeah,
got in
yeah.
human design, I've also got like an open root center. All of my other centers are defined, like very, which I feel like is explains why my energy is so like it's got like this strong kind of like a certainty to it, right? But like my root
Like a
chakra,
whip.
yeah,
I was.
but my root chakra is my only open center. And so obviously it's connected to survival. So it's like, oh, where am I going to have shock stuff come up? Probably connected into survival or connected into my physical body, which has happened. So whether that's been brain aneurysms or nearly dying or nearly choking to death or whatever else. One example, literally just recently, is I had ovarian cyst rupture, and I was like, oh, I literally broke up. This was a week ago. So I woke up and I had this sharp pain, and I said to Shane, "Oh, something's wrong with my left ovary." And he's like, he's like, okay. He's like, "Oh, you sure you're not just like feeling, maybe it was just some food or something." I'm like, "Nah, it's my left ovary. I can feel it." And so he straight away is very accepting. So he's like, "Oh, well, what like do we go to do we go to the doctor? Like, what do you want to do?" I was like, oh no, I'm trying to like feel into my body to work out like how bad it is. Um, and mainly because we were on our way like to the airport.
Yeah, where are you at this
Okay,
point?
yeah,
Just
so I was in Spain. So I was in um near like Alicante, and we were catching a flight from Alicante to London. So I was like, okay, we'll just get there. The flight from Alicante to London is like 2 hours and 2.5 hours or something like that. And we got at the airport, and the pain was pretty, it was starting to get a bit intense. And I was like, okay, it's getting a bit worse. I do like a pain thing to manage it, which was in like a CIA the Gateway Project. It was declassified. I don't know if you've heard about that. It's another thing, but
No, sounds
there's
cool
a
though.
code. There's a code in there that they
Oh,
use.
maybe, yeah.
There was like 55515. So I'm like chanting this in my head. I had the color yellow coming through, so I was like, okay, I'm just using yellow and like doing this number to like manage the pain. Um, and I was just so I could try to like create enough space to ask, like to see if with my body and like, do I need to go to the hospital? Like, do I have
Mm,
serious internal bleeding? Like, what's going on?
yeah.
Um, anyway, Shane had gone on and asked, like, Googled and asked on chat and everything. They're like, not go to the hospital, go to the hospital. Like, you need to go to the medical. And I was like, nah. I'm like, no, I don't need to. It's fine. I was like, no, I'm good. I have this weird thing. I don't like bringing attention. So if I have shock and I go through this stuff, I don't like people knowing if I'm going through a serious health thing. I don't. Um,
Why do you think that is?
it's because I'm so sensitive to other people's feelings and energy and that kind of stuff that it feels like I then almost start to console them or make like it's like I
Ah,
start
so it's
shifting.
your
Yeah,
preservation.
yeah, I start getting overwhelmed a bit and I'm just like to try and like make other people like, like, hey, it's okay, like I'm gonna be all right. And it's like
Oh,
almost
yeah.
the situation. Just because if I don't do that, it's then also like too much energy for me as well as all the other stuff. So
Yeah.
I tend to like step back from everyone and everything. Like I'm just like, yeah, no, I need space. Um, so yeah, got on the plane and we had I think it was like three people around us that were like terrified of flying.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, like, oh my God. So I was sitting there just getting like bombarded by this energy. I was like, no, just keep focusing on yourself. It's fine. The pain was intense. I was like, you know what? You just need to read a book. So I like opened up my Kindle. I'm reading the Gift of Fear. I don't know if you've
Oh,
heard.
okay. Is it
Yeah,
good? No.
it's a great book.
Okay.
Dr. I think it's like Gavin Becker. I can't remember his name. I think that's right. But yeah, anyway, so I was reading this book and I was like, just focus on this. And we got off the plane and then yeah, I said to Jen, I was like, oh yeah, this is this is pretty bad now. Like,
Yeah.
like so we need to go see someone. He's like, okay. So went there, tests and stuff, and yeah, it was rupture, and they're like, oh, we can check and see if you need surgery. I was like, I don't need surgery. Like I knew.
Classic.
I was like, I
Yeah.
don't need surgery. It's not
Yeah.
it's not that serious. So it's not that serious. Yeah, but I was like, oh, so I then spent I think the next 3 to 4 days like in bed. Because the pain was obviously still there. It was starting to dwindle down, but I was just so tired.
Mm,
And it's because I was doing this whole integration. So I had this like download
mm,
happening at the same time around with the university stuff that I'm opening up, like with all the majors and everything that I've got, and how people can use numerology to like for transformation, like for
mm,
transformation work. And then I was like, and I had downloads around the astrology stuff and like all these things. So all these things were happening, and I also was talking to these other beings, and I was like, okay, cool, thanks. Had another download connected into ancient Egypt, and that's all like going on kind of at the same time. And I was like, okay, well, so I was kind of pendulum swinging between pain and like and me just going, oh my God, what like and also all of the very real human parts that come to that where I'm like, why am I dealing with this? Like, why is this happening? You know what I
mm,
mean? Like going into that victim space. I was like, oh, this sucks. I
mm,
hate this, blah, blah. And then I was like, no, you're not going to be in a victim consciousness. We're going to shift back to this. And so I was like pendulum
mm,
swinging between them.
mm,
And yeah, and then I realized, well, it was like that part where I'm like, oh, that like that part of me that's inclined to go into that victim space to feel sorry for myself when I'm experiencing something that's physically intense that hits in around my body in a very serious health way. I'm like, oh, I need to release that fear there, and I just need to trust that I'm okay, which is like a whole new level
mm,
of surrender. But I was like, that's what I had to do. And as soon as I started doing that, it's like the pain started easing up and yeah, it started shifting. But it's not it wasn't an easy thing. Like and anytime I go through things like that, I do dip out. Like I'm like, yeah, nah, I need
Yeah,
to
fair enough.
I need to give myself space to be able to deal with it. And this has only happened like what, I think 2 weeks before that, I nearly choked to death. Um,
Yeah, you said
like yeah, there's been it's
it
like
really,
something. There's like I feel like
yeah, it
nearly
really
every
does
year.
come up that way for you, doesn't it? Like
Sorry.
you do get those really intense physical things that just
Mm,
you out for like however long. And
yeah,
yeah, it does. And I've noticed that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Maybe
usually
it's
a
because
week.
that's what you need to freak yourself out, because otherwise you're sort of always feeling that
Mm,
connection and that
yeah,
knowing within yourself that you
yeah,
need to be really pushed to
yeah.
the other end.
Well, that's what it was interesting. Like when I went and had a look at the human design stuff, and I was like looking at that gate, and it's a gate 51 is the gate of shock and like, shock or trauma
Mhm.
that's connected into spirituality. I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense because, like, I mean, one of the earliest times that um, one of the earliest times, I mean, I drowned when I was 5, but like that, that whole thing, like, and being resuscitated or going through all that stuff, it's really like it's been there's been something connected into like, and if it hasn't been a near death experience for me or like a survival thing around my health, it's usually been like someone that I've loved that's then passed away or some like there's a really strong
Yeah,
death connection or like survival connection that I then have to try and alchemize in a spiritual way to be like, okay, in what way can I look at this in a different light? Like, and then not just that, how can I then communicate and teach that to other people to be like, oh,
mm,
you know, like, yes, because things can get bad, like things can be pretty fucked sometimes. And like,
for sure.
you know, I do think that I'm a pretty real person as much as I can be real, where I'm like, yeah, this is happening, it's fucked. Like, I'm going to
Mhm,
acknowledge that.
mhm.
But it's like, I feel like I do shift through things because I'm like, well, yes, this is fucked. Yes, I've processed it. But now it's almost like I give myself a period of time and I'm like, that's enough now. Like, like you've had your time to process this, like you now need to shift and like shift out of this consciousness of victimhood and like start looking at things differently, because otherwise I'm going to keep creating that reality for myself and keep
For
experiencing
sure.
it. So I think it's like the more you go through those things, and I'm sure you would relate to this as well, is like you just get quicker at, like, it's not as if you don't experience it, you still experience it, but you get
For
quicker
sure.
at shifting out of it. Or like not even shifting out,
Yeah.
you get quicker at, thank you, that's what I was looking for. You get quicker at releasing. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
you don't get, for me personally, I don't
Mm.
get as entangled now. So
Yeah,
before I would,
exactly.
you go through the different levels of awareness, and previously I wouldn't have even known anything. I just would have been like, the world's falling apart. And
Yeah.
then
Mm,
gradually I'm like,
mm,
oh, this is happening. So I
yeah.
am holding that awareness at the same time. Like there
Yeah.
is that part of me that's like, why is this happening to me? Like the same
Yeah.
kind of victimy, but I'm able
Yeah.
to be like, you're good, like you're safe,
Yeah.
everything's going to be okay. Like, let's
Yeah.
just be with this and sit with it,
Mm,
instead of running from it. I feel like that's also the big
mm,
thing, is like just staying with it and honoring where my body's at instead
yeah.
of pushing through. Previously, be like, in the pushing through force or trying to prove myself in some
Mm,
way, or feeling like I needed to be somewhere that I'm not in that moment. I would
yeah.
just disregard my body. I would disregard what was going on. And that's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many layers to it, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I think it's like when you like, when you hurt your wrist, like
Mm.
you've had that similar thing, like when you've had, um, you know, can you share like about that, like what your experience was with that, like in terms of like a spiritual shift?
Yeah. Um, I think what was most profound for me as I went through that experience was
Mm.
the fact that at no point did I slip into the fact that I was unsupported. And that was
Uh,
huge for me.
that's
Like
cool.
the whole time I was able to stay with, even though this is fucked, even though I broke my wrist, by the way, that's what we're talking about.
Oh
And it was
yeah.
like a whole thing. It was like over Christmas. I had multiple times they tried to get it back into place over 48 hours and they couldn't. And then in the end, I had ketamine, went on a whole trip. It was like an ego death whilst they're like getting it. I had to like surrender. It was a full psychedelic trip. Anyway, it
Oh
was
God.
a horrific experience. I met Buddha because they gave me the morphine.
Yes,
It was
I
like
do remember
there
you
were
saying
there were
that.
little pockets of anyway, it was wild. And all whilst we were supposed to be moving into a house that
Mm.
wasn't ready for us. So I was also homeless at the time. At my parents' house, could be worse, could be better to be on the street.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it
Perspective.
was yeah. And but the whole time I was like, I am supported in this. And it
Mm,
showed as well. Like we were like things were not how we wanted them to be. And the survival instincts in me were like freaking out about that. But the whole time we were fully supported. Everything was like
mm,
every step of the journey, we had what we needed. We were where we needed to be. We had the support around us that we needed. And so in a way, it really it shifted things for me to be like,
mm,
wow, I can go through something like that and
mm.
stay in support and stay in the fact that I know that everything is going to be okay and that ultimately this is still for my best. Even when you're like
Yeah,
on your knees or like choking to death, you're like, this
yeah,
is serving me. But it
yeah,
really is. And then you
yeah,
come out the other side, and every single time it's more solidified. Every single time I get less
mm,
entangled. And of
yeah.
course, you have those ones that grab you.
Oh,
Man, you just got to ride
100%.
that out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you'll have those little micro moments where your head does like attach or does get a hold of you, right? But you don't like because because you've done the work and like and when people do the work, it's just it doesn't last as long as what it normally would. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. And because that's what I've tried to explain to people is like, no, like I still have fucking ups and downs, but
Mm.
the intensity of them, like of that drop, it decreases.
Mm.
So it's
And
like
does
I
it?
can
Do you
still
feel
go
like it
up,
does?
I
Yeah.
can still go down, but it's like I'm not dropping all the way down. I'm
Mm,
only
yeah, yeah,
dropping
yeah.
like say like I don't know, say the baseline is, kind of around your chest. It's like I'm only kind of dropping down maybe to say like around my shoulders. I'm only dropping down around like my boobs or like my stomach. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not
Yeah,
going all the
yeah.
way. I'm not dropping to the ground. Um
Talk to me about that. Like what, because I love what you're talking about there. You're like, is this like chakra related, like in terms of the
yeah, a
energy,
little bit
where
like
they sit in the body? Like, yeah, what do
yeah,
you extend on that?
I guess I kind of Um, when I'm really feeling sorry for myself, like in okay, so I'll give another example. So like when I nearly choked to death, that was like I've always had this thing about chewing and I'm a really slow eater. And I'm like, oh no, I need to like chew heaps because I don't want to choke. Ha ha ha. So whether I manifested that or was intuitive, who the fuck knows? But it was my first bite. Like I literally had this like little spinach pie thing, put it in like I literally put it in my mouth and I don't know, I must have inhaled or something at the same time. And it's just like,
Classic.
yeah. So I'm talking like a hard pie, like not like anything soft. So anyway, I straight away I couldn't breathe. There was no sound. So Shane was over at the kitchen. I'm like trying to get it out. Um and it was interesting just like the I'm normally like really good in emergency situations and I have had my throat close over before from anaphylaxis and I'm just like, oh yeah, cool, I'll just go down, get an EpiPen, whatever else. But this one seemed to be like a bit more panic. I think because it's like it wasn't just my body that I was like communicating with, if that makes sense. Like I had some foreign thing in my body that was like stopping
Interesting.
me. So it seemed to like affect me a little bit differently. And as that was
Sure.
happening, like, yeah, I was like, I mean, Shane obviously started to do first aid on me and everything. Like he had to literally
The
like,
Heimlich
oh no, he
thing,
was
is
like
it?
hitting in. He's the first aid. You like hit in towards like where the ribs are, like certain ones of the ribs, and it like the pressure from the lungs like expels and like can push it out. So anyway, he was
Oh.
yeah, I know. Honestly, thank God for
He's
him.
just beating you on the back. at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was like, well, he was like hitting a certain angle. So he's like hitting and hitting. And I could tell like he's just like, oh, but like again, he's great in emergency situations. So he's just like, the body
Mm,
just kept going and going and going until it finally like it finally came up. And I just burst into tears because it was just like,
mm,
holy shit. Like I just said to Shane, I was like, oh my God, like I literally just nearly died because I was like starting to get a bit dizzy. Like it's like I don't have air. And
mm,
I was like, oh my God, that was, and I'm like kind of laughing a bit at the same time. I'm like, oh, that was full on. And then straight away, I just was like, obviously my ego part was like, because I was so overwhelmed by the fact that I was like, holy shit, that's just nearly happened.
mm,
My throat was so fucking sore. I had to try and drink a little bit of water. It hurt just to swallow that. I was like, okay,
mm.
I'll probably have to go and get checked out or anything like that. And is this whole thing? I was running a numerology workshop the next day, so I was like, oh, I don't really need this in my life right now. So this is like literally like all these internal stuff is going in my head. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Um,
Sure.
classic Lexi response. I don't have time for this.
100%.
Um,
Yep.
I'm like, I don't have time for this. And then
I don't have time to die right now.
yeah, I
Okay.
was
We're
like,
nearly
schedule it
dying.
in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm free
Yeah.
on Saturday after 4.
I'm like,
You're not. You're not
talk to
free
my
on Saturday
team.
after 4. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, I can't do this right now. And then I had all the emotion where I'm like, fuck's sake, like why? I then had to like, why does this keep happening? Like, why can't I just have spiritual fucking shifts and awakenings and things happen without me fucking nearly going through this shit every time? Like, honestly, that's what was going through my
Such
head.
a good question. Look, I
And
mean, it's a good question. Like, as
yeah,
in, did you get an answer?
yeah.
Yeah, this
No,
is the
they were like, yeah. I'm like, so I then just could feel myself like, um, almost like, yeah, the word would be like, folding in on myself a little bit. Like I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna hermit mode here. Like I need to like, um, that was intense and I could feel like normally I have these things happen and I'm just like, oh yeah, and I just breeze through, right? Like I'm like, yeah, sweet, cool. Because I do. I know I do.
Mm,
This time I was like, oh no, this isn't calling for a breeze through. I need to
mm,
massively process. I need to go through so many
mm,
layers of this that I need to just like become a hermit crab.
mm,
So I did. So in that time, what I meant is like I was going into this so when I was talking about the baseline and stuff, I could feel I was like, oh, I'm dropping into this. Um, and so I was like, all right, I need to connect in with my heart and I need to ask like my inner child, like that part of me was so fucking scared then. And I need to
yeah,
ask what does that part of me need right now? And that's all I need to do. So
yeah,
all I did was like I journaled, I sat there crying. I remember like the next day Shane got a bit teary with me. He was just like, you know, the next obviously he's just been in an emergency situation the whole time. So then the next day he was like just starting to process, you know what I mean? And he was
mm,
like, oh my,
mhm,
he's like, fuck, like you literally nearly died. Like he's like, you know, and he got really upset. He's like, I don't he's like, I know I could keep traveling by myself. He's like, but I don't want to do, you know, he was like, I don't want to do life without you. Like I want,
mm,
you know, and you know, there was so many layers connected into that. And so then even we had like conversations like, you know, oh, like if one of us died right now, like what would you do? Or blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, and like we needed to have those conversations. I mean, we've had those conversations earlier on
mhm,
in the year, but like, yeah, just we had those conversations again. And it was like, yeah, what would our lives look like? Is there anything we would do differently? And if that's the case, then we can implement that and do that now. Um, so what I mean is like I didn't drop so far down. I was able to be like, okay, what do I actually need from this? Like, what does that human side of me need? Because
yes,
I can have the perspective spiritually where I can look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's all happened for me, and this is all connected to this, and blah blah blah. Yeah, and that's great. That's an amazing thing to be able to do. But I'm like,
insight, yeah,
yeah, but I was like, but I need to give myself what I need right now in order to
mm,
feel like it's not even so much supported by the universe or anything like that. It's like supported by me. Like what can I do to support me in this way right now? And that's all I needed to focus on. And I mean, like I fully anytime I go through big shifts, I just completely drop off the face of the earth. And I'm aware of that. So
I mean, I think that's great. Good for
yeah.
you. Love it, you know?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
So
I love it.
yeah, so when that happened, I just was like, yeah, no, like I'm doing like bare minimum.
Yeah,
Um,
of
I mean, I did still teach a neurology workshop.
course
Um,
you did.
yeah, I'd already rescheduled it. I was like, no, I'm gonna teach it. That's fine. Um, but I could feel as well as like that was also part of this. I was like, it was so clear that I'm like, oh, I'm so much stronger than what I probably even give myself credit for.
For
Um,
sure.
so there was that. I was like, I nearly fucking died last night, and I got up and I've showed up here and I've taught this 2 hour workshop, and
Mm,
like I was proud of myself, you know, like I had
mm,
that and I was like, great, awesome, done. And I was like, and I've done that now, and now I'm going to be like, now I'm going to like, you know, be this soft and
gotcha.
nurturing side for myself. Yeah, and I think it was like a week. I had some people messaging me and I just wasn't responding.
Good.
And yeah, like I mean, we spoke about that on the last session,
Mm,
but like, yeah, for me, I'm just like, no, I'm not giving anything that I don't have capacity to give right now. And I
yes.
need to give to me in order for me to keep so to get as close back to this, like I got to this baseline so much faster because I was giving myself what I need. So yeah, it's all around your heart chakra
Big.
and also your solar plexus. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not dropping all the way down where I'm having like an existential crisis and I'm like, you know, holy fuck,
Falling
what am I
apart.
doing? Who am I? Like that kind of stuff. Like and a lot of people have that and it's fucking intense. Like,
I've had those this year. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's an intense thing. I've had them a few times through my life, but like they're intense. And so what I'm aware of is I'm like, if I don't meet me here,
Mm,
then whether
mm,
I like it or not, that is going to circle back around and I'm going to still experience that.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I it's also interesting to me and what kind of popped through for me when you were
mm,
talking, like knowing you a little bit,
mm,
was is it interesting or did it come up that, you said about the foreign object and
mm,
also the fact that you had to rely on Shane to save you?
yeah. Yeah.
Did that,
Oh,
did you guys talk?
100%. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
funny part is, from a numerology perspective, it was on my 11-2 day. 11's also connected to shock and trauma. But I was like, it was connected to 2 day, to his partnerships, to his partner. So it's like, um, yeah, it was kind of crazy that like yeah, I had to rely on Shane to save me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And has that changed anything in you in terms of
Yeah.
like levels of trust or anything like that?
Um, it's very much it has shifted in like where I'm able to like I do feel like I can rely on him more than
Mm,
what like because I am kind of like this I have connections and I love talking to people and love connecting with people and stuff, but it's like I very much one of my best friends Rose said this the other day, just like you're like a self-cleaning oven. I was like, weird, but
sure.
thanks, okay. Um, yeah, so I kind of clear a lot of things like
You do.
myself
Yeah.
and you know, so it was kind of cool. Yeah, in that moment, I'm like I had no choice but to
Mm,
rely on him to do that.
deep surrender. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, and it's also shifted him as well. Like, I mean, he's always been protective of me anyway, but it definitely has it's just like intensified it a little bit more. Like for I was joking that, you know, for the next like couple of days he was like my barnacle.
Yeah.
It's like attached to
I
me.
love a barnacle analogy. I always call
Yeah,
Tanya.
it's like a barnacle. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I love you, bye. Um, yeah, no, it was really sweet, but it definitely did push me to trust a little bit more. But yeah, and even the foreign part as well. It's like I think because I can move around my body or kind of feel things in my body and talk to my
Mm,
body. So
mm,
there's certain time like for that to be like I said, like when I had anaphylaxis, I like my throat closed over and I was just like, oh well, I've just got to go in the air, like, in the elevator. We'll go down to this doctor's surgery. They'll have an EpiPen. I'll put that. It's fine. Like I was just like, you're fine.
You
You're
trust yourself
exactly because I
deeply.
trust myself. But it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was like, I've got something here. I've got no control over this. And I
Mm.
have no other option but to trust Shane to be able to save me. And yeah, it was intense. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I'm like, meanwhile, he's like I say, he's fantastic in emergency
Yeah,
situations. So
of
he's just
course.
like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, see, you're good, you're fine. Like, he was like, yeah,
He's
yeah,
like playing it down.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, yeah, you're fine and everything. Yeah,
You're not even
and then
nearly
the
dying. It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I was like, he was just like, he just disassociated, like as
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
obviously happening, and then it's like as it's then he's like gone into processing, and he's just like, holy fuck, like, oh,
yeah.
that's not good. But it
Oh,
was
for
so
sure. When
beautiful.
he's come down from that, yeah,
Yeah, but it was nice as well because it was like he just held space for me like the whole time, and then like it was like once I was like, oh yeah, cool, then he was like, holy shit. Like, you know, he was like, holy
yeah,
shit, I nearly lost you. And I was like, it's okay. So yeah, it was pretty intense though. But to go circle back around, like that baseline is like you don't get knocked as hard. Like you can have
yeah.
something that hits you and it's like, oh, I just need to go into love right now and I just need to give myself whatever I need. And sometimes
Mm,
it's time, sometimes it's space, sometimes it is just like, you know, love or acceptance or trust or like whatever it is, of those frequencies. But it's like that's what needs to happen, that's going to stop me from completely sinking into all of those thoughts that are like going 100 miles an hour through my head, being like, what the fuck, why does this keep happening, like what, what I mean, like all these
yeah, yeah,
thoughts that are like
yeah.
typically like, oh, for fuck's sake, like what am I missing, or like what am like why like all these thoughts. I'm like, yeah, I can attach to that, but it's not going to help me. And it's not, and if I start to entertain those thoughts, it's not making me happy.
You circle the
It's not
drain.
making, yeah, it's not making that like, I guess for want of a better phrase, like your inner child, like it's not making that inner aspect of myself feel better. It's just making me
No.
feel worse and disconnecting me even worse. So it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
how, like, I know kind of where my baseline is, and that's kind of like a nice contentment vibration. So I can go into that vibration and be like, okay, this is all I need to be. This is all I need to do right now. That's it. Like I'm not looking to get out to be happy. I'm not looking to go into joy. I'm not looking to like go into these high vibrational energies because I like that's so fucking far from where
Yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah.
been, that I'm like, I'm not interested in that. That's not like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do is like, all I'm going to do is through that process is put pressure on myself to like be happy again and be feeling good. And it's like, but that's not what this
It's
is
going to
right
push you further from where you want to go because you're resisting where you are right now.
now. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't do that. I'm just like, okay, well, if something happens, I just go to contentment. I'm like, well, that's a
I
nice,
just go to
easy,
contentment.
yeah.
And everyone, I guess
Easy.
everyone's baseline frequency in that way. Like, what would you say to someone who is looking for a baseline frequency? Maybe they don't know
Mm,
exactly what theirs is. Like, for me, I
mm,
would say in those moments, I,
mm.
I want to say the best I can do. And that's probably
Yeah.
the truth of it in some way at
Yeah.
this point in my
Yeah.
journey is presence. Like that's, oh, I just bring my awareness to myself. So I'm not reaching for any, but because like you said, if even if I try and reach for the frequency of ease, or
Mm,
light or anything like that,
mm.
it feels like such a climb. Like you can
Yeah.
feel that it's
Yeah.
not
You're trying to
something
drag yourself. Yeah.
yeah, that you have to kind of, and
Yeah.
then that automatically is like, well, way too much effort. Like you're
Yeah.
not sitting where you are. So
Yeah.
for me, it's just being with myself. And
Mhm.
even in that state, I'll often zip out, of course, and just every time I
Yeah.
can, spinning my belly, deep breaths, and just
Yeah.
returning to presence and being with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's it for like most people, like
Yeah.
just being present and feeling. For me, it's definitely, I need to bring myself into my body.
Yes. Yes.
I'm very
Agreed.
good at I don't know, there's like just this part of me where I'm like, oh, this is shit. Like I could I could just
I'll
chill
just
up
pop off to
here.
another timeline
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. I'm like, I could just be on another planet. It'll be great. But it's
Yeah.
like, that's not what I'm here for. So, I
Yeah.
have to kind of remind myself. So contentment for me really is that like what you said, that presence energy. It's like it's just me connecting in with myself and being like,
Mm,
I'm good as I am now. It's the other word I would use is just acceptance. Like I'm just
yeah.
in acceptance. I'm just like, okay, I'm in acceptance now. I'm not creating any resistance. And that acceptance leans itself. It's very similar vibrational experience too. Like contentment and acceptance are basically the same. So it's like,
Mm,
oh, this is all I'm going into. And that to me is presence because when you are being present with yourself, it is contentment, it is peace, it is, there's just this energy where you're like, okay, well, this is good right now. Like it's okay.
mm.
It's not amazing, it's not bliss, it's not joy, it's not those things. It's also not sadness or deep anger. There's just it's for one of it, it's almost like you're just being, you're just existing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Allowing
you-
yourself to exist as you are in this moment,
yeah,
truly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
and so if that and it reminds me, I'm pretty sure after I broke my wrist, I
Yeah.
was talking to you in January. And so it was through that period of like couldn't put my own bra on, couldn't put up my own
Yeah.
hair for like a couple of months. And it's
So you're
those
relying on a
kinds of things.
partner.
Oh my God, so much. But I also at the time, and it makes me realize now in this moment how much I've grown this year. At the
Mm,
time, I was like, I want to meditate. I want to get into these states. Like I was still seeking those
mm,
states, those higher vibrational
mm.
states. And I remember you said to me, don't shoot for that right now.
Yeah.
Shoot for acceptance. And I was like,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like you touched on before, is that because the more you try to do that, the further away you get. Like
Absolutely.
it's because and the reason being is because
Push it.
you're trying to use it as escapism. And it's like
Yes.
that's not
Yes.
fixing the issue. So it's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
yeah, you have no, I don't know. In these situations, I feel like in order for you to move through things quickly, like you have no choice but to just accept it. Like once you accept it, then I mean, you still do have a choice, but it's like if you want to shift things quicker, if you want to open up your life, if you want to have freedom and experience liberation and experience your own presence and your own energy, then you need to accept it. Like because you
Mhm.
don't have because the only other choice would be to choose resistance. And why would you do that? Because it has pain. Like it's not
Yeah. Right.
it's
Yeah.
not a pleasant experience. Like no one is having fun there. So, yeah, the more you just go into this like almost like a state of balance, really. It's like, oh, I'm just at this balance point. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to reach for these high vibrations. I'm not trying to like suck myself down into this like, this pit of despair. It's like,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like if I can kind of hover around these places and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I haven't I've dropped, but nowhere near as much as what I normally would have. Like especially years and years ago, like I would have just been like, whoa, like
Mm.
you know what I mean? I
Same.
would have spiraled and been like, oh,
Oh
fuck,
my God.
why is everything happening to me? And like, oh, my life
Yeah.
is shit.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't understand what I need to do. Like all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And I need to be
Resistance,
clear.
resistance, resistance.
And it's like, it's not as if those thoughts don't still come in. And I feel like if
They
anybody
absolutely
turns around and says that they don't, they're fucking lying. Because I'm like, they do.
Mm.
Those thoughts still come in, but you don't tend to attach to it. Like
Yes, agreed.
sometimes you don't attach to it, or you attach to it, but you don't attach to it for very long. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like you can still attach to it and you're like, ah, fuck. And then you're
You
like,
release.
okay, release
Yeah.
it.
Attach,
Practice your
release, like
yeah,
break down. And
yeah,
then afterwards, it's like the sun comes out again. It's like the rain and then the storm or whatever, and the sun comes out.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Just like
so, what
embrace
would you say to someone who is listening to this and is like, how the fuck do I go into the frequency of acceptance or become present with my body? Like if they are in this and they are
it.
getting entangled even, or
Yeah.
maybe they have some level of awareness, like what is a guided kind of process that you would recommend for people in that situation?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why you want to connect in through embodiment first is because you're literally in survival mode. Like in that phase,
Yes.
you're in survival mode. So what that means is that part of you does not feel safe, right?
Yep.
Because it's in survival mode, it means that you're more aware of what's going on around you and what people are doing around you as well. Like you're more externally focused. And
Mm.
what you then want to do is bring your awareness to your body. So say you're like going, okay, your left hand, which is more your feminine side, you want to be going into feeling, like focusing on feeling or sensing just your palm and your fingers in your left hand. So you're not touching it, you're just focusing on feeling your palm and your fingers in your left hand, and you get like a little tingle. And then as you get that tingle, you can follow it to your wrist. And what you'll do is you'll then, it's not going to be as strong as your hand because we have more awareness of our hands. So we use our hands more, which means we have a bit of more of a
Which
tingle,
is
right?
why you start there. Yeah.
Exactly. So then we go to your elbow. And the reason that we do this is because it pulls your awareness to your body, and it's easier for you to connect in with yourself this way because your head is more focused on what could hurt you. Yeah. So it's
Mm.
happy for it to for you to be like, I'm putting more awareness on my body. It's like, oh great. Like, oh good, this is what we need right now. Do you know what I mean? Like
But
it's
that's also what all those parts want, right? Like they just want your presence.
exactly. So it's like so you go to your wrist, and then what you do is you then can feel that kind of flow of energy or like a little bit, and you can go to your elbow. So then you focus on feeling your elbow, and then you'll follow it again up, yeah, to your shoulder, and then from your shoulder into your chest and heart space. And it just like allows you to just like take a deep breath for a moment. And because
Mm.
of that, your head actually releases control a little bit because your head's like, oh, you've got presence, oh, you've got awareness, or like, oh, you're more connected and more focused on your physical body right now, which means that we're feeling safe. And so it's easier
Mm.
for you to shift into connecting in, like shift your awareness to your soul is essentially what you're doing. But you need to go through the body in a way because if you don't, your head's way too activated. Like your head's not going to let you do that. You'll be like, oh, I'm going to go. I mean, and don't get me wrong, some people, if you've been doing this a lot for a long time, it's very easy to just go, okay, I'm just going to pick a vibration and go, oh, I want to go into this frequency. Like, oh, I'll go into acceptance, I'll go into love, I'll go into trust. Like, you can set the intention and go, I'm going to shift into this and shift into that. But usually, if you're super activated, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
how long you've been doing this for, you need to go in through the body. Like, you need to shift your awareness to your body because if you
Yeah,
don't,
definitely.
your head is not going to relax because your head doesn't feel safe. So why would your
No.
head let you like take your eye off the ball? You know, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
it's not
yeah.
going to
Because
let
it's in hyper, yeah,
it's
hyper
yeah,
survival.
exactly. So it that's like one of the ways that is the best way to connect in.
Mm.
There is another way where you come back into your breath. Breath is obviously amazing. So again, these two things are still connected into the body. So if you I don't know if you've done this before, but if you take your ring finger and you put your ring finger and your thumbs so that they're connected and they're touching, so they form like a little circle. Yeah. If you and just take a deep breath in and breathing out. So you'll notice that you breathe into your chest. It's
Mm.
like you have a little bit more energy, like you can feel it, like there's a bit more of a flutter in your body. Now what you're
Mm.
going to do is you're
Like
going
a
to,
charge.
yeah, now you're going to go your pointer finger, like your index finger and your thumb. So you swap them. Now you're going to take a deep breath again, which you'll notice it goes into your stomach.
That one's more grounding.
Yes. So if you're feeling overstimulated or if you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm too hypervigilant right now, I've got survival
Mm.
mode, you can do this, like you can connect your index fingers and your thumbs and you can take a few deep breaths and it makes you breathe into your stomach and it gets you to relax and release. So that you can be
Mm.
like, oh, okay, yep, I feel more at home and more at peace with myself right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even just that. How
Yeah.
funny it is that it's so simple. Like,
Mhm.
and your awareness obviously deepens over time, but
Yeah.
even when you can't necessarily feel that you are calmer because of it, you absolutely are. Like your nervous system is calmer and more
Yeah.
grounded because of like one breath, one softening
Yeah.
of your still, one returning to yourself, just consistently returning.
Yeah. It's This is one of the ways that I want to start using, well, I am using numerology this way as well, but I mean like
Mm,
creating it into the degree is if you know what numbers are on your planes of expression, it's very easy to then know how you need to process emotions or how you need to process thoughts energetically
right.
or what you need to even manifesting, like how you actually specifically manifest because of your unique relationship with the universe. Like you can discover this and then go, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. So for instance, like if you want to connect more in with your intuition, if you've got one that's connected on your intuitive plane, well, breath, which is one, breath work is going to be better for you. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Mm,
if you've got five, it's like, well, that's being on the move. Like you would work better, like you would get more downloads, like if you're driving or if you're walking, right? You know, like like that kind of, yeah. You would just as an example, like these things flow through. So if you are aware of what are on your planes of expression, it's very like, you know, I could go, oh, the embodiment technique is one of the best ways to connect. Yes, it is. If you've also got more three energy, then that's going to be amazing for you. But if
for
you
sure.
don't, it's not really going, like, if you don't have that,
Interesting.
it's like, yes, you can do it, but if you're hypervigilant mode, like it can kind of pull you a little bit, but it depends on what other, like it depends on what your own connection is with the universe and how you process and shift energy. Because otherwise, like, because not everybody's the same. So obviously I can say a generalized thing. These two exercises do work well, and they are like exercises that I do kind of teach as a bit of a standard, but you really need to implore people to find out like what is on their planes of expression, and that is done from name numerology. So you can like write out your name and then go, okay, what's on my physical plane, my mental plane, my emotional plane, and my intuitive plane, and then from there you can go, okay, I've got this number here, this is how I process emotions. So I know, for instance,
Mm,
my sister has six on the emotional plane. She processes her emotions. Or she's got one linked in there as well. So she processes information by cleaning or like having like she has like a little ritual. So she'll like clean and like healthy eating, that kind of stuff helps her process emotions. Exercise, like physical exercise, is really much
very physical, yeah.
very connected into one. Again, that energy, like that's how she processes emotions. You know, she's got
Mm.
five. So what does that mean? It's like, well, if she's on the move, if she's driving, if she's like, you know, all that kind of stuff, it's easier for her to
Walking.
process emotions. But because she's got one as well, it means that she doesn't really process emotions very well with like other people. Like she needs to do that internally. Yeah.
Mm,
So it really
interesting.
depends. Like, because some people go, oh, you know, you need to share your problems and you need to talk about it and blah, blah, blah. But some people, it doesn't actually help them to talk about problems. Like so it really just depends on what your own individual relationship is, like on that plane of existence. Because if you do understand it, it makes it so much easier to navigate. You're like, oh, I know what the best energy like line here, or like I know what the best approach is for me to process and integrate that energy. It's like, oh, that's easy to transform then.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so my question to that would be,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that obviously as we get to know ourselves more, and this is
Mm-hmm.
an avenue of tuning into yourself and understanding
Yeah.
yourself on a deeper level, those the things that work for me change.
Yeah.
And so does it change? Like, could something that you try not work for you at a certain point, and then as you move through, it draws you to something else, or
So yours will change more because you've got five. Yeah, like
okay,
five
yeah,
actually does change. Five is the energy of change. It changes. So for you,
oh,
yes,
relentless,
it's going to change. You'll be like, you would do something and then be like, oh, wow, this is great. And then be like, eh, I don't feel.
right?
You'll be like, oh, it's not quite feeling right. So it's like, because that's your five energy
Like
activating, being
lots of
like,
different things.
hey, let's try something else.
Yeah,
So then your five will go do that. You'll find something new, and then you'll find out as well that you then integrate it back in where you'll like take pieces from things and then kind of create your own little thing, you know? Like
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
that's five energy. That's what five does. But so other people that have that energy, yes, they would be doing something similar to you in terms of that. You'd probably find it hard to have a like a spiritual routine as such, where you'd like
Oh, this is
you,
exactly where I
you
was just going in my head. I was going to come for you about this as well. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you would
I
find it
don't I
hard to have a spiritual routine because five is not a
routine in
routine
general.
number. Yeah, five is not a routine number. It doesn't like it. It's not interested. Five
Yeah.
wants change. Five wants freedom. Five wants to be able to be like, you know what, I'm getting up today and I'm doing this, woo, and then like tomorrow do something else. So the best way in terms of a spiritual routine, I say very loosely in inverted commas,
Yeah, yeah.
for that kind of five energy is you're better off just like changing it up every day or changing it up every couple of days where it's like you still kind of keep
Mm.
the same times or the same structure a little bit, but like you can change what you're doing or when even sometimes when you're doing it. Yeah.
Like I carve out that space for myself
Yeah.
or
But you change
ourselves,
even, yeah. Yeah. So you might get up
but
on
the
the morning.
content changes.
Exactly. You might get up in the morning and be like, okay, well, I've got a whole hour before I say I'm, starting my work day or whatever else. In that time, however you want to, maybe you want to meditate as soon as you wake up. Maybe you want to like have a shower and then have a walk and then do this and then you want to
Mm.
meditate. Like, or maybe you don't even want
Mm.
to meditate. Maybe you just want to move or dance or like it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
love a dance.
But it's like whatever that is, that's what you need to be doing because that is then like honoring your five connection.
Yeah. And everyone's so different. Like I think of my partner Talia, and we're so complementary in that way because
Mm.
I am all over the place.
Yeah.
And comparatively speaking, I think quite air as well. So I've got lots of
Yeah.
ideas and lots of things coming through, and I'm very
Yeah.
creative and I move about. This house would fall apart without Talia. Like she is like she I joke that she
Yeah.
runs the household because all of the practical things
Yeah.
she needs to do those things to feel safe and
Yeah.
grounded. I
Mm.
cannot bring myself to do those things and I can't create that routine. And it's interesting as well for anyone listening that I used to really judge myself about that. I used to be like,
Mm.
why can't I keep a routine? Because we're told that the healthiest
Yeah.
thing you can do is
Yeah.
do the same thing every day. And I'm like, every single morning is completely different. I don't even think I brush my teeth the same. Whereas Talia has like three on the left, three on the right.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
should probably have quite a bit of four energy. Yeah, it's I'd be interested to look at her like what she's got on
Mm.
her planes. But yeah, for me, like I I struggle because I've got five kind of linked in with my
Mm.
physical planes. So like I struggle with having like a routine as such. But what I do instead is I have like little
Mm.
mini rituals that I'll then like add in wherever I fucking want. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll do like, I mean, I journal every day. Like that's been the one thing that I've been doing for a very long time. So
yeah.
I journal every day, but it's like I don't journal every morning. Do you get what I mean? Like it depends
Yes,
on
when it's aligned.
when it's aligned. So I've needed to like listen to my five energy a little bit with that, but I still have a ritual routine with it where it's like I'll sit down, I connect in, I'll write. Like there'll be like little like a little ritual kind of thing that I follow where
Yeah.
that's what I do when I do it. And that meets my six energy because my six energy is like all about it's like priestess, like healer, like vessel kind of energy. So I or like it's also cleaning, which you know I'm a bit of a clean freak. So so for me, it's like I and mainly what my main routine was is that I would get up. I vacuumed every day. So I'd be like, I'd get up, I'd vacuum, speak light language, whatever else, like, I'd muck around, like, yeah. And that's my spiritual routine, right?
Hmm.
So I have a very different spiritual routine to like what most other people would be like, what the fuck? Like, why? Oh, you're not meditating every day? You're not this? And I'm like, no, it wasn't
Sure.
vibing for me. I'm not going to do it. Like,
Yep.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if I want to meditate, if that comes up, like where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm meditating today. I'm like, great, awesome. But a lot of the time, I spend so much time throughout the day checking in with myself and my body and like and shifting my awareness to
Hmm.
my soul that it's like that is more powerful for me than to sit down and meditate for an hour. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I completely
makes a bigger
understand. I
difference for
completely.
me. So yeah, it depends on what someone has that's connected into that. It's just like someone that might have a seven, like they're going to connect more through sound and or through silence. So like, I know for me, I don't have a seven linked and it like I've got it in my third life path period, but for me, it's very much like I love silence. Like cannot express how much I love silence. Um,
Mm.
it's caused many issue with Shane and I where I'm like, oh my God, put your AirPods,
It's fun.
like put your headphones
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Fuck, I can't deal with it. Um, but yeah, it's a big thing. But like for someone that has seven, it's like they're going to want to listen to sound. They're going to want to listen to
Yeah, I
like,
like sound.
or just be out in nature listening to music or like, what I mean? So yeah, I'd be interested to see what your seven's doing. But when you understand like, oh, this is what's going on, like someone might even have five energy, but they're not responding like a five on that plane, which means that archetypal energy isn't balanced out for them, right? So it's like,
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So you could have like, so even with Talia, just as an example, so it sounds like
Yep.
she's got more four energy there, but if she if she doesn't and it's five, it's because it's like her five energy as isn't actually balanced out, right?
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you saying like that on some level that energy is still in survival? And
Yeah,
so the
the
safety that it
archetypal
would feel,
energy.
it doesn't feel because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel safe in general.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Totally. I
like
mean, that
yeah,
makes sense.
the archetypal energy wouldn't have reached like its balance point, right? Because like
Yeah.
the reality is like we're all trying to like swing. We're like all pendulum swinging, like trying to get into
Yeah.
like a balance of whatever energy we're working with. So because I even have six on my physical plane, six connects in with health and well-being and all the, all these kinds of things. It's where probably some of my germaphobe things come through sometimes. But it's, I can see where like six is also connected into being controlling or like whatever else. Like I can see if my six isn't balancing out, it straight away shows up where I'm like, oh, I'm being a bit weirdly controlling right now. Like what the fuck is going on? Or I can
Mm.
be like, oh, I'm not feeling well health wise. And it's like, oh, I've missed something here with my six. Like I need to kind of clean or I need to tidy up or like it's very easy for me to like because I understand what the energy is asking from me, it's an easy for me to balance it out and to integrate it, to go, oh, that's what you're asking from me. Okay, I'll just do that then. Easy. Like,
So it's almost like the medicine as
mm,
like what you need in that moment
yeah,
changes according to
yeah,
what is feeling out of balance.
yeah. It's why one of the
Interesting.
reasons why I encourage people to be like, yeah, like track. When I say track, like you just kind of look it up and put it in. I'm a bit six is like organized energy, so I like to have things in my
Yeah,
calendar.
your folder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I have in my calendar, like I've got like day events where it like pops up as a day alarm for Shane and I in our shared calendar of like what numerology day we're on. Like so I know
Mm.
that I'm right now, November, I'm in a 5 month and I'm on a 4 day. So I know that like there's been a little bit of clash for me today of like, oh, I want to go outside, but I'm like, fuck, it's so cold out there. Like,
Yeah,
oh, is this better if I just stay home? Because four is very homebody energy, right?
yeah.
So I can see that, but it's like Shane's on a 1 day when that one is like, oh, he wants to create, he wants to do something new, he's got energy, he needs to burn it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I
Huh.
just want to do this. So it makes it so much easier for me to go, oh, that's what's going on. And the irony is it's like we've booked our flights like for tomorrow. That's on a 5 day for me, which five connects in with travel. And Shane's on a 2 day, which is your partner. So it's like his partner,
Yeah.
it's like he's traveling with his partner. Do you know
Traveling
what I
swap
mean?
partner. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
when you start like tracking these days and you start really
Yeah, that's
looking into
cool.
going, oh, what am I on and like what are these energies that are because it's obviously each archetype has got so much stuff underneath it. It's like you can go, oh, like so a 2 day could be like oh boundaries or it could be sibling energy or it could be whatever it is. Like it could be kindness, it could be manners, it could be agreements. It could be support or you not receiving support, not being considered all these kinds of things. Two's like a big energy for me, so I
Mm.
could talk a lot about that. But you can also have, yeah, like so say even if it's three energy, it's like, okay, well, three could be like you're too busy that day, or you're not allowing yourself to play and have fun, or maybe you're feeling creatively blocked, and it's like it's because you're not allowing yourself to shift into joy or to have a laugh or to like be silly or to like daydream. You know what I mean? Maybe you're not focused on your image or the way that you look, because three is about fashion and beauty as well. So it makes a big difference if you know like what's being asked of you on those days, because you're
Mm,
like, oh, well, I know why this is coming up. It's easier for you to flow into it. And the thing is, whatever month you're in, whatever day you're on, like lends itself to that energy of the month, and the month lends itself
right.
to the energy of the year lends itself to the energy of the pinnacle. Like it just keeps going.
Mm,
But it's like if you understand those layers, yeah, I mean, I keep saying this, but it honestly is so much easier to navigate because I'm like, I know what's being asked
is
from
it?
me. Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
when I nearly choked, that was on my 11-2 day. So I'm like, 11 is shock and trauma. One on its own is the hero energy, right? And two is partner. So it's like Shane saved my
yeah,
life because one is still life. So you can kind of go,
it's a
oh, I
language.
can see. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, what's being asked of me right now? Like, oh, not to disassociate, which Levin sometimes does if it's not in balance. It's like, oh, not to like to be able to rely on my partner, to be able to like you're being it's like, oh, that's what's being asked from me. That's what I can do. That's easy.
Mm. Mm. And so
Mm.
you've set that up so that that's not something you have to necessarily maintain every
Mm.
day. It just,
Mm.
you know what it is because you've kind of pre-programmed it,
Yeah, it's kind of like I can some days I don't check the
just
calendar at
practically
all.
speaking.
Yeah, some days
Yeah, okay.
I don't check the calendar at all. Like I said, I got some five energy, so um I'm just like, whatever. But it always upon reflection when I'm journaling, like I always can see, oh yeah, that's how this is manifesting right now. It's all like I can, as it's happening, I can go, fuck, I've got to be on a six, or I've got to be on an eight, or I've got to be on this. And I'll say it to Shane and you'll like open the phone and check and he's like, yeah, you're on an eight. I'm like, I fucking knew it. Like it's the
Mm,
archetype is so each archetype because it's universal energy. It's like the universe is going, hey, you can balance this out today, or like, hey, here's an opportunity for you to do this work on this today. And you're like, oh, great, awesome. So if I'm aware of that, I'm like being able to, I don't know, for me, it feels like I'm covering more ground quicker, if that makes sense. Like, I'm like, oh, I know
mm.
what you're asking from me. Okay, great. If I do, I'm like, I'm doing these things and I'm meeting it. And it's like the whole day just like opens up and it flows a lot
It
more
flows.
easily. Yeah. I'm
Mm.
not having
Yeah.
that like I'm fighting against the
Like
current.
you, yeah, you wish you were feeling a certain way, or you wish there's a pressure where you're like, I need to do this. I get that a lot where I'm like, oh, I know I need to do this, but it doesn't feel
Mhm.
aligned right now. And just
Yeah.
trusting that, I
Yeah.
guess when the time comes that it feels
Yeah.
aligned is right. And my head's like,
Yeah.
no, but you need to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just not aligned today.
Yeah. Well, I think it's and I mean, you can bring other things in as well where it's very
Mm.
much, even with your human design, like your generator, and it's like, how do you respond? Like, is it time for you to respond? Does that feel good to like respond to this and take, because you'll basically have an opportunity drop in, or you have these things come up and it's like which one feels right? Which one do you want to respond
Mm.
to? And which direction do you want to go? And that is very much obviously trusting in your own intuition to guide you and really listening to yourself. But yeah, with numerology, it just gives it like an extra layer where you're like, oh, okay, I've got this in my toolkit today. Like this is what I can use.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is
It's
what
more
I've got to,
support.
this is what I've got available to me. Like, okay, cool. And I think it makes it a lot easier to shift your awareness around problems or things that come up as well. Um,
Mm. Like a container. Like you're not
yeah,
like, it's not like everything is a
yeah,
possibility. It kind of
yeah,
narrows it down a little bit for you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well,
cool.
because you'll have people that'll be like, like say they've got, I don't know, say they've got eight as a karmic lesson, and they're on an 8 day, like that, and they're going to almost feel like it's like, oh my God, it's like everything in my life, like everything. It feels like it's like everything, right? They're going to feel like
Mm.
that because it's got eight's a karmic lesson. They're on an 8 day. They're probably, if they have eight,
Charged.
I guarantee they'd have eight somewhere else in their chart or whatever else. And it's like, depending
Mm.
on that, it's going to be it's going to connect in like and maybe the eights with, maybe the eight's linked with five, maybe it's linked with something else. It's like, well, yeah, and then you're looking at, okay, we probably do have some shock or trauma, or like we've probably got some like hectic change that's connected into business, and there's power dynamic struggles, and there's like you can start to unpack and really look at it and go, oh, that's what's going on. Like,
Mm.
oh, that's going, but for them, it is going to feel like it's everything, right? Because that whole, like that, the part that their souls decided to work with is in the spotlight. But if you're
Mm.
aware that you're like, oh, it's this, it kind of gives you a little bit of space to be like,
Yeah.
oh, it feels like everything, and my head's telling me that it's everything,
Mm.
but it's not. It's
But
this
it's not.
part. And it's like, yeah, you can go, like, especially just with eight, you can go, oh, it's specifically power dynamics. Like, oh,
Yeah.
right, okay, I can look at that. And there would be power dynamics and will come up in so many different ways, depending on the placement.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then you kind of know, where you're looking, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, coming back to integration, it's like
Hmm.
the integration is going to happen whether we like it or not. It's going to keep happening. So I feel like some people are like,
Yeah.
I'll just spiritual myself so that I'm not having those
Yeah.
integrations. Like, it's
Yeah.
never going to happen, bro.
No.
It's not. But that
No.
developing your awareness is what makes those integration periods feel like more
Mm.
manageable. And
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
not getting entangled as much on that numerology in this case, and
Yeah.
this kind of practical
Yeah.
method helps to develop that awareness so you can have that distance from what you're experiencing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really it's made such a massive difference like in my life, and like even people that have done my programs and stuff. It's like it's just easy. It's like, oh, when I explain this and we go through and I'm like, oh, just this is how you can use it. They're like, oh my God, really? It's like, yeah. This
Yeah.
is like this is like a life cheat codes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is what the universe is giving you on this day. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it still does come to come back down to awareness, because if you're
Always.
more aware of yourself and you're more aware of what's going on in your life, then it does make it like you're more present. It does make it easier to understand what, like, oh, that's what's going on. Okay, I can do this instead. But
Definitely. Yeah.
so that, but I do think that it does help you to have more awareness.
For
Because
sure.
you can go, oh, all right, hang on a second. Like, I've got like I did this PDF thing that I sent out, and I was like, oh, this is, each number. It's like, this is basically, if this number shows up, like, this is what you're looking like. You can go through the list if you want, and whatever jumps out at you, because obviously I'm still big on using intuition. But it's like whatever jumps
Yeah.
out at you, that is what you'd be working on. Um,
Mm.
so like I know with the ovarian cyst thing for me, it's like there's this there was this like pressure build up and everything, where it's like I've had to go through another layer of me not having kids, of acceptance around me not having kids.
Okay.
There's been another layer there of like me birthing or creating like my baby, like the university and that kind of stuff. I've had stuff around that as well. And also this piece around me being able to accept myself and know that I am still a mother. Like I am still a woman. I do still hold those elements of myself in so many other ways, not just, oh, I've given birth to a child. So it was really interesting just like unpacking that and shifting and going, oh, okay. And I know,
Mm.
because I'm like on my sixth day. So I was like, oh, this is connected into this. Like, okay, cool. So it makes it so much easier um to understand,
Mm.
oh, that's what this is connecting into. Um, I can feel it. I mean, I'm in a 5 month now. My five is linked to my six. My six is on my physical plane. So when you start kind of mapping it out a little bit, it's like, oh, this, okay, cool. You know,
Mm.
I'm not necessarily using it to predict. I'm specifically using it to process and to integrate, like, and
Information.
that is what I'm using it for. I'm not um I'm not looking at it and being like, oh, so next month I'm in a six, like, oh, okay, well that's gonna be, I'm gonna be focused on health and I'm gonna be doing this and it's gonna be great and it's gonna be that. I'm like,
Mm.
hmm,
No.
I don't know.
Yeah. Using it to control or trying to kind of predict and control from a place of fear
Yeah,
versus using it
yeah,
as information and support.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
assist you in navigating
Yeah.
whatever it is you're
And I
navigating.
know some people go, oh, you don't need to, you don't, you don't need to know. Yeah, in some instances to integrate, you don't need to know. Like you actually don't.
And
You
maybe
don't
you're
need
not
to.
meant to know in that time. If you don't know, you're probably
Mm.
not meant to. Yeah.
Exactly. Like sometimes it's like, yeah, sometimes there's parts of you that die off and you haven't needed to know about that and it's fine. Like,
Mm.
hallelujah. But
I
then
mean,
there's,
where are they? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
very few and far between. But then like most of the other times it's going, oh, it's dropping in. And I really feel like having tools or having things where you can understand yourself on a deeper level is like, well, you're shifting into a higher level of connection because the only thing that you have is you. That's it. So if you know who you are, you then know what you want, you then know how to get it. You've got this really beautiful flow of energy that comes from within. Whereas like if you're ever, I still argue this, literally an answer to anything is like if you're struggling with something, it means that you don't know who you are. Like
Yeah.
if you were
Yeah.
struggling
Yeah.
with anything,
Because who you are is,
everything.
yeah. Yeah. You
Uh,
know, actually, this brings us round to finish up, but it brings me round.
yes.
Last week, you were saying that, not last week, it was a week before. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You were saying that every answer is divine love. And
Mhm.
you got, and I know you felt that in the moment. I was like, I don't like, and I know when you're doing that, that you're planting your little seeds. And and of course, probably egoically, I'm like, I need to understand this. What
Yeah.
did she mean? I need to feel that resonance of understanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
And afterwards, it was like, oh, because everything is divine love, because
Yeah.
we are divine love, because your problems are divine love, because
Yeah.
the integration is divine love, because everything that exists is divine love.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I got it. I got it.
Yeah. 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 And that's the thing, like, and on this in this reality, in this realm, what we're experiencing, from our human selves, like, yeah, you any problem you have, anytime you don't know what to do or where to go, or, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what to do with this, or if you're like, oh, I'm just trying all these things and they're not working, it's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, or anytime you have any kind of struggle like that, it means that you don't know who you are and you're not connected with who you are. Like it is that's like a general answer, but that is 100% the answer. Like you do not know who you are.
Yeah.
Simple
Yeah.
as that.
Yeah.
If you're struggling
And I
with
guess,
integrating, it means that you don't know who you are.
you've forgotten, can we
Um,
say?
mm, it's more that, yeah, I guess, yeah, because it's like you just don't have an awareness of who you don't have an awareness of who you are and your power. And it's like because of that,
Your
all these
soul.
limitations, everything, all this resistance, everything's been created. Um, and I think it's like,
Mm,
even as a rule, like if I ever have my head come in and be like, oh, I don't know, I'm like, oh, first of all, I'm putting too much pressure on my thinking mind when this needs to
mm,
come from my soul. Like,
it's
because
not its job.
yeah, it's not his job, didn't sign up for that. Or if there's even been times I think when I've said I didn't sign up for this, and I'm like, if I've
For sure.
actually, you probably even heard me say it, but I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. I'm like, if I say that, I'm straight away, I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta I gotta connect in, I've got to go
Yeah,
back
we all
into,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I think, did I tell you like I had that when I went to the council, it was like when I was at that like council light and I got up and I was like sobbing and I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. Like I didn't, and they're like, yes, you
I
did.
am.
And I just like just instant. I'm like, oh yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Like, yeah, no, you got me. I did do that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, we all did, and
Yeah. Poor Shane is
not
like,
sadly, of
poor
course.
Shane was next to me and he's just like holding me. I was God. And he's just like, I'm just sobbing. And then he's like, you're just like literally just like whole body rack sobs. And then he's like, and then just like, huh, yeah. Like, what the fuck? Like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, they got me.
They got you. You got you.
They got me. Yeah, I got me. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
just like, what? What are you
yeah.
talking about? Were
We
you
got
okay?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, that's
I think we went
cool.
on for
I
on a
super
few little
do.
different tangents, but
Look, it all went where it needed to go. Do what you will with it.
yeah. I'm like, everybody enjoy.
Yeah, take what resonates, leave what doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, if it
It was
doesn't
fun for us.
resonate, just, keep it to yourself. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, don't tell anyone about it. Certainly don't. Yeah, cool.
Oh,
That
good.
was awesome. I
Cool.
think that was great. I think
Yes.
it's great to have conversations
Mm,
about the stuff in spirituality that
yeah.
isn't fun and that isn't doesn't feel
Yeah.
like you're on top of the world, because ultimately that's what people have trouble navigating, and it is
Hmm.
spiritual. It's the most spiritual thing you can
Oh,
do
that's
is
what like
integrate.
I 100% agree. Because like for me, I honestly feel like that's like this is how I live my life. So I'm just like, yeah, this is what happens. Like
Hmm.
this is what I do, and this is what you do. And it's like, and
Yeah.
like life isn't fucking sunshine and lollipops and like all that stuff. And like, yeah, you have moments like that, just like you have moments of sadness, but like I just don't see the point in you know, having like that's not what this podcast is for. Like I don't feel like that.
No.
It's like this podcast is about being
No.
real and it's about being like
Agreed.
giving practical things to be like, yeah, this is what you're doing. This is what life happens. Sometimes life knocks you the fuck out. And you're like, why am I down on the ground? Like,
Yeah, and it's avoidant to be like, I'm not down on the ground. I'm not down on the ground. I'm up in the sky,
yeah, yeah. Oh, I
because
know.
that's
Yeah.
not the
And
truth
that's
of your experience. And we
definitely,
owe it to
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
to be authentic about our
yeah,
experience, because everyone is struggling to be authentic about their experience because of the way that we're conditioned and what
yeah.
the society that we've grown up in.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's the other thing. Like, I don't know if you saw like one of the things I shared about, I won't go massively into this, we can talk about it on another podcast, but
Mm.
one of my clients passed away and
Oh
um
no, I didn't see
I
that.
like I was yeah, I was so sad. Like I was devastated because I'd had a reading with them a few weeks before that. I knew that they weren't going to make it. I wasn't ever saying it
Oh,
was just,
fuck, that's
it
hard.
was a honestly it was a pretty fucked position to be in. But at the same time, like
Absolutely.
I just had to offer, you know, love and like help and support and like that kind of stuff through that. And I was like, oh, you just need to accept things and you need to like do this. Like I gave some stuff that they could do, but yeah, so then obviously got that news and I just like yeah, I just was very, very upset. And I thought, you know what? So I recorded myself and I posted it because I was just like, this is the part that people don't fucking talk about. Like, you're not just like telling someone like, oh, you're gonna meet a guy, or you're gonna meet a girl. Oh, by the way, you're going to like win a house, or oh, like, are you fucking serious? Like, no, that's not what that stuff is. Like, there's so many times where I've done readings on people where it's just been so fucking hard. And I do like to go, look, this isn't great what's coming up, but you can do this to help move through it like
For sure.
in a good way. But like, yeah, it's just there's this part where so many people are just like, oh, you're coming into abundance. Oh, you're coming into this. Oh, you're coming that. I'm like, that's not fucking real. Like,
No, no.
like there's a very real side of being psychic or doing readings or doing coaching sessions or whatever else that people just don't talk about.
Mm,
And so I was like,
absolutely.
I'm going to post this. Felt like, I posted up and I was like, fuck. Like, I was like,
Vulnerability
'cause
hangover. Yep.
my whole thing was, I was like, oh, I don't want people thinking that I'm fucking doing this for attention because that was not the intention.
I
And
understand. Yeah.
anyway, yeah, Shane had said, "Oh no," he's like, "No way!" Like, he's like, "You can tell, like, that's not the intention of this at all." And he's like, "You can feel it." And he's like, "You're genuine. You've put it up." Like, he's like, "You really put yourself out there, being
And
vulnerable."
what matters the most is your intention, not
Mm.
how other people might misinterpret it,
Oh,
because you can't control
exactly.
that.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly right. And that's what, I was like, oh, isn't it interesting that that's like my head was
Mm,
like, oh,
mm,
blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I've just
totally
like trusted
relatable.
it. I'm just like, it's up there now, fuck whatever. Um,
Mm,
yeah, and like the feedback and everything with people, like people saying like, oh my God, like, yes, yeah, people don't talk about this. Like, oh my God, it's like such I had so many more messages than comments of people just being like,
mm.
oh my God, thanks so much for putting up that video. Like you know, it's so true. Like I've really struggled with doing certain readings and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, it's not an easy thing. And I think like even doing readings, people put so much pressure on people to be like, oh, you're gonna be 100% accurate. And it's like, fucking hell, like there's like no room for error. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
remember you said that to me in the beginning when I was
Yeah.
learning. And, obviously I was holding way too much responsibility for how it was
Yeah.
going to go. It's like you can offer the information, but whether they take it or not is none of your business. And
Yeah,
that
exactly.
portion of being like, this is
Mm.
my perspective, do what you will with it. That's a real learning process. And
Yeah.
you said to me, you were like, if you make any positive change there,
Mm.
that's a
Mm.
good thing.
Yeah.
We're not dragging people over the finish
No,
line.
no, no.
That's been a big learning for me this year, just in general,
Yeah.
realizing how many of my personal relationships I was like,
Yeah. You're
like
like, you're like, get in my
that's what I
backpack, I'll
needed to
carry
do.
you.
Yeah, yeah, let me carry you. Why do I feel so heavy all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no,
No,
I hear
I,
you. That's
yeah.
that's really tough
Yeah,
and authentic
interesting. Sorry.
and authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like yeah, it was just like a, devastating kind of news to receive, and then to have like, because there's kind of things sometimes where I just like hope that I'm wrong. Which sounds it
Yeah,
sounds egotistical saying that, but it's like I like have some things in
no,
readings
no.
where I'm like, fuck, I hope I'm wrong. Like I really hope I'm wrong. And yeah, and then it unfolds and it's like, oh fuck, okay, that sucks. Like, you
Did
know.
you ever Did you ever go through, like, was there ever a point in your experience where you would get those knowings and
Mm.
you would doubt them? Like, not just being like, I hope I'm wrong. Now you're like, I hope I'm wrong because you know you're always right, or you're most often right. But was there
Um,
a period where it wasn't so clear for you? I'm always so curious about this.
mm, I'm just trying to no, to be honest, like when those things have happened, they've been
Mm,
so intense or so strong that that's what, like, I haven't, like, my head hasn't actually kicked in with doubt. My head's more kicked in with like, oh fuck, um can we say something else? Like that's usually like, can I say something
sure,
else? Can I,
sure, yeah,
is there any other way? Is there like my head's like, oh, I don't want to say that.
yeah,
Like that's more what my
yeah,
head comes in with, is like, I don't want to say that. Um,
yeah, 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 of course.
that's more where it, because it's like it, because I'll be channeling and it just is so like, or when I've been out in the blue, like I did have one lady, years ago when I first started out professionally, and I did a reading for her, and so I was connecting in. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna fall pregnant in this month or whatever," and she's like, "I'm pregnant now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, maybe." So then I've like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
no.
"Oh, fuck." Um,
Mm,
I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, well, oh, it's probably just like connected into like, a new project or something like that. I've just like, I panicked, which is like
yeah,
not
yeah.
ideal, but you know,
I know the panic well.
yeah.
Yeah,
I panicked in that
self.
situation. I panicked and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, because I could feel, I was like, it doesn't feel like I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not perfect at all, but I was like, I just couldn't feel like when I was connecting. I was like, okay. I'm like, all right. She's like, oh, so many months along, blah blah blah, and I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, then, and like moved on. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Meanwhile, thinking in
Yeah,
my head,
yeah.
I'm like, why didn't I was like, how did I not
That's
pick
unusual.
that? Yeah, I was like, how did
Mm.
I not pick that up? Like, that's fucking weird. Like, I actually remember thinking that's fucking weird, and I was like, no, but it was coming through that it's like she's falling pregnant in this particular month, and I was like, okay. I'm like, I just needed to let it go. So I was like, all right, just let it go.
Yeah.
Finished the reading. It would have been 2 weeks after that. She then called me, um, into saying that she'd lost the baby, and
I
that,
knew that's what it was as soon as you said it. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
she said to
Wow.
me, she said, what's actually her, she goes, I just wanted to double check when you said that there was a baby, whatever else. She's like, and I said, yeah, was getting that there was a baby in spring, and she's like, okay. She's like, thank you so much. She's like, I like that's going to help me get through this. And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah. But like that, prime
Mm.
example, I was like,
Mm.
fuck. Like, and I was like, I was hoping that that wasn't like, and she actually said to me on the phone, she's like, you knew that there was like something going on. Like, I didn't know there was something wrong with your baby now, but I just knew that I was like, well, I'm getting shown pregnancy at this time. So I don't know how that's going to come about. And I didn't really want to look at it because I was like, that's fucked. Like, like I don't want
Because
to,
what does that mean? Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, oh God, like I'm not, yeah, there was a part of me, I'm like, I'm not going there. This was like, oh, about 10 years ago. I was like, I'm not going there now. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
that's too much for
Yeah.
that. It's above
Yeah.
my pay grade. So yeah, I was like, no. Yeah. And then when she called me and then she contacted me again, it would have been about like a couple of months later and said that yeah, she'd fallen pregnant again um
Mm.
and everything, but which was lovely. But at the same time, like when that's actually happened, I was like, oh fuck, like, and I was like, oh no, no, maybe that's not right. It could be something else.
Mm. Mm.
Mm. But yeah, I haven't
Interesting.
really had when I've had things that like hold almost like what would be perceived as like a bad thing, they usually have been so strong that there's like no way out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the knowing is so strong that's like I can't.
Yeah.
I,
That's your energy. Your energy is like clarity. Like it's so clear. You're like in the air. You know what I
oh
mean? Just like clarity.
yeah, yeah. It's really intense. Like when it hits on those things, I'm like, there's been so many things that, when Jane and I've been together, like I've said to him, I'm like, oh no, like I'm like, nah, I'd put the house on the line for that. Like I'd bet, like, and he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, easily I'd bet $1 million on that. He's like, really? I went, yeah, really. Like, because when you know something, it's unshakable. Like nothing, I could have, my head can still come in and be like, oh, but what about this or whatever else? But it's like your head dims down. Like it don't get like the doubts are still there. The head still comes in, but it's like it just doesn't. It's like water off a duck's back. Like it doesn't even
Unshakable.
register. Yeah, it just doesn't register. It's like no, that's just what it is. And you're like okay. And there's like this
Mm.
trust and acceptance of it, like from the get-go, that goes through your whole body, and you're just like okay, well that's what it is. Like you know,
Mm. The
um,
capital K knowing. I mean,
yeah,
the only, not the
intrinsic.
only time that I've ever experienced that, but the one time that really sticks out for me was my awakening, was this that
Uh,
experience that I had, totally not spiritual in any way, shape, or form,
yeah,
was I liked spirits and I liked but it came through in this conversation
Mhm.
like a psychedelic experience, completely
Yeah,
sober. And it was a knowing that filled my entire body. Like I remember feeling like the light moving
yeah,
through my fingers and all through my
yeah.
body. And it was that I was a non-physical being having a physical experience. And that just that knowing, that's all I needed to know in that moment, but know it without a doubt,
Mhm. Yeah,
undeniably, like
yeah,
like you said, like a knowing I don't experience as a human,
mm,
like that I know I can walk.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah,
and that completely changed my life. Yeah.
yeah. It completely takes over everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it does.
that's what I
It
was saying. Like
overshadows everything.
yeah, yeah. And so that's what I mean. Like yes, you could have a little bit of doubt, like or maybe like if you, but it's like always after the fact, right? But it's like
Mm.
where your head can maybe be like, oh, maybe, and you're like looking at different ideas. But usually when it's like that unshakable, your head doesn't even question it. Your head's just like, oh, okay, cool. You're
Yeah,
like even
yeah,
your thinking mind is like, all right, like
yeah, yeah.
you know, the big boss, like the souls told me to do this, so that's what we're doing.
That's what we're
Yeah, it's
doing.
complete, and it is exactly what you said. It's just through it is a um complete and total embodiment, complete and total presence, complete total
Mm.
surrender, like
Mm.
everything on every single
Mm.
level. It's like everything just like clicks into place, and as I said, it's unshakable. It's and even like if it's connected into like when I have those things connected into actions, it's then like this deep moving compulsion that like I have to do that. Like I it's like I like what why there's no like what other option would I look at? Like it just doesn't even
Yeah.
make sense. Like you'd only do
Yeah.
this. Like you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. But I feel like even I just want to quickly touch on this because you're like, oh, it wasn't really a spiritual experience, but it was.
Which was
Awakening.
that?
When you're like, oh, no, it's
Oh,
really awakening. But I was
oh
like, it's
no, it was a
really,
hugely spiritual experience. I mean, I
yeah.
wasn't spiritual prior to that. Like I had
But
no,
see, you know, that's the thing. Everyone's spiritual.
sure, sure, sure. Yeah.
But I get what you mean. But it's like, yeah, like I
Mm.
was thinking about it because I was thinking about this the other day. I was like,
Yeah, okay.
everyone's spiritual, right? Because like you can have people that like even if they might not be, believe in life after death or maybe like whatever beliefs they have or don't have, cool. But everyone's spiritual because everyone is operating either through their intuition or gut feeling or logic.
Mm.
Like, but either way, like
Mm.
that this intuition or gut feeling is still there regardless.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
Like,
just not identifying with it.
yeah, you're just not connecting to it, or you're just not
It's
like
there,
attaching to it, or being like, oh yeah, this is exactly identifying. You're just not being
like the
like, oh,
sun
this is
behind the
me.
clouds.
But it's like it's still there, regardless. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like because even before that awakening, like when you've shifted the
Mm.
awareness, you still, if you reflect on any of the things that you've done in the past, there still would have been moments where you could remember or recall where you're like, oh yeah, I kind of just had this feeling. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go there here, or like maybe it was a
Sure.
tree, or maybe it was this, or whatever it is. It's like, oh, I'm gonna take this job. There will be something. It's like so.
Or, yeah, even just desire, right? Even just like my desire to create music or like
Yeah,
all of that is spiritual, would
yeah,
then come back to divine love. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just think that I just wanted to be like, hey, what's your thoughts on that? I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I'm a spiritual being.
Yes, we are spiritual beings. Amazing. Just having this human experience, just doing things, just kicking through. Do you know? Oh, I know what we need to talk about on another episode. I don't know when.
Okay.
We need to talk
Okay.
about
We'll feel into it. Yeah.
ancient Egypt.
Dude, my parents are there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just weird. Like, I'm,
I'm like, we need to talk about this. Yeah.
yeah. No, I'd be so keen to talk about that. So keen to talk about that. I mean, we could also do a real history podcast.
Oh,
The
yeah, that'd be
truth.
cool. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Oh
there's
God.
so many things.
I know. I was like, I struggle with like real truth, real history stuff because I'm always like, there's so many. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then we get into multidimensionality, right? And it's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah, there's so
it's
many.
all infinitely happening.
Mm. Okay.
Cool. That was great. That was great.
That was
Do you
fun. That
have
was good. Yeah, that was good.
any final words on integration?
Oh, just I'll take a thing out of you. Just be present with yourself and
Hmm.
you know, in Lexi's words,
As
do the
best
best.
you can, as
Yeah,
best you
as
can
best you
at
can.
whatever
Yeah.
experience of awareness you have, just try and stay present and not entangled, which is
Yeah.
the,
I think the last thing would be just like give yourself what you need at the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's it.
yes,
Like
yeah,
just give yourself
beautiful.
what you need, whatever you need. Like maybe it's time,
Choose yourself.
maybe it's even just like for me at that time I was like, I'm gonna wash my hair. Like like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Just give yourself what you need and then
yeah,
yeah, the whole integration will go a lot more smoothly anyway. Yes.
yeah, beautiful. Love it, love it. Until next time.
I know. Adios, amigo.